Andy.
And I'm not the bitch. I mean, I'm rich.
And this is Get Gaming, the channel by two gamers with a Y for
gamers with or without one.
So we bring you the final monthly math video of the year, December 2022. Tomorrow, after this video goes live, we will be posting our cumulative yearly math video where we break down all our stats for the whole year. So make sure you like and subscribe this video and hit the notification bell so that you can be alerted when that hot vid drops. So, as you may recall, November was a very light month because Rich was gone in Georgia for a few weeks and I was inconsolable. But December was okay.
Yeah.
You know, it was okay stat-wise. It was really quality over quantity because there was a lot of stuff going on with the concert season, all the Christmas concerts I had to perform, just general holiday madness. Rich gets really crazy around the holidays, gets very anxious.
Yeah.
Because he wants it to be a perfect Christmas. And I'm here like, I just want to make latkes on Hanukkah. That's all I care about. Which we did try to film a Hanukkah video, but I wasn't really satisfied with it. So maybe next year. And then it got to the 8th night of Hanukkah and I was like, I don't have time to edit anything. So
Hanukkah's over.
So in the month of December, we played 26 games. And one of those I did play without Rich because I played one time with Shelly and Jamila because, you know, we were having a little kiki.
A kiki is a party for calming all your nerves. We're spilling tea and dishing just desserts one may deserve.
Of those 26 plays, 17 were unique games, and 9 of those games were new to us.
Well,
so
that's
we played.
pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's the most new games we've ever played in a month. So we are working through that shelf of Shamportunity as it comes. As it comes flying at your face is the best time to deal with it and not have that game sitting there for months and months and months and months, and hopefully not years. So what do you think our most played game of the month was? Well, I already told you, so you should remember this.
Do you think I will?
It was a new to us game.
It was a new to us game.
Really obsessed. I played it with you. We've introduced it to several people already.
Oh God! Unless I look
it's
at
not
the games.
here because Rich ran over it with his car.
Oh, that one's the one we played the most?
Lavinia. Don't worry, it's okay because Tavir makes quality products. Only one side of the box got messed up. And
the box is the only thing that got a little
the
smashed.
cards and bits were fine. This car isn't super heavy.
I'm sorry. It must have fallen out or something.
It fell out of my game bag. I forgot to pick it up when I got to your house. And then after Christmas, I'd been there for like 2.5 days. So I'd forgotten that it fell out and that I never picked it up. So then we ran over it and you were like, what was that? What did I just run over? And it's like, oh, maybe it was a squirrel. Keep driving. And you're like, no, get out and look at what it was. And I saw what it was. I was like, oh, yeah, it's Lavinia. Wonk, wonk.
So yeah, we did play that game kind of a lot.
Yeah, you're going to fix the box, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got busy today.
It didn't even have a tire mark on it. So, you know.
I never said I was a role model.
People are like, what are you doing to your poor games? Do you not take care of your games? I
He's
generally
really
do.
good about it. Mostly.
Generally. I think I need one of those specialized like carry cases for the game so that they're protected and they don't fall out. And like Meadows, it's been transported hither and thither. So it's kind of faded on the outside, which is because I've been putting them in those like shopping bags. So
plus, you have to understand, Andy cannot go to any place where we could be playing a game without taking like 15 or 20 games,
that's
which
correct.
I might
At
be
least 12.
exaggerating a tiny
Only
bit.
slightly. I just like to have options. 2% people options. They don't usually take my options, but I'm always ready. And the second game we played the most of was Cascadia, your new favorite game.
Great game. Love it.
It was new to you in December.
Had you played Cascadia on...
No, I had never played it before I bought it.
Oh,
at the end of November.
Okay.
But I played it solo before you came back on December 1st. And then you played it after that. It was new to you. So can you tell them a little bit more about your first time experience of Cascadia and why you've begged to play it again and again? 3 times.
Well, I don't know, it seems like it's a simple game. There's different scoring things you have to do for the different animals. But it's well explained on the card. It doesn't require going into the
They're nice
rule
visual.
book. Yeah, it's like here, you do this, 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 or this. And those are the different opportunities for scoring points. Other than that, the mechanics of the game are super simple. Those, how you score off of the animals, that I guess changes depending on the card.
There's like 4 different cards, like A, B, C, and D.
Yeah, so there's lots of variability. And
There's a decent amount of variability in the scoring, I would say.
Yeah.
The solo campaign has the different scenarios that has different recommended combinations of cards that you can do, which helps kind of vary things up a little bit. But I think even just using the base cards in whatever combination you want can still, give you some good results. It's a good tile placement game. I would say it's more open than Calico or Verdant.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing is like scale. Like some of the games are scaling so large now, and it's like, oh my God, we have to start investing in real estate so we can play this
bigger
game.
Table,
yes.
Yeah, a whole special room just for the games.
Yeah,
that's
and
the dream.
I'm not real into that because I think that's a little much.
Like I said, I don't think you'll ever be into deluxe games with minis and all that kind of action. But you did say your favorite board game accessory, though, in our challenge video was miniatures.
I did, but I was probably lying.
The thing about Cascadia, it's quick to set up. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate. It's a nice go in, go out kind of game, the old in, out, in, out. All right, and then we also played Rajas of the Ganges twice. Your favorite Euro game.
Absolutely.
If not your favorite
it's probably it's still my favorite game, probably. I'm going to just,
throw that out there?
Yeah. But you never know, dude.
I don't. Secrets. And then we played Horreos twice because we filmed that playthrough finally.
What was the month that we played Horreos the most? Like September?
Well, you'll have to tune in tomorrow for our yearly math video to find that out because I don't know the answer to that question.
I kind of think it's probably in the top 5.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's an interesting prediction. Tune into our yearly math video to find out. Then we got Draftosaurus. So I finally introduced Rich to Draftosaurus officially. We got a copy of that. I just thought it'd be a good filler game to have. I really like it a lot. And that's a game I think I'm also pretty good at just because I played it so much on PGA. And once you get used to the scoring in Draftosaurus, you kind of get a sense of what the good things to gun for are.
It's about, we were filming some of our other content earlier.
It's about dino meeples.
It's just sometimes games remind me of other games for reasons other than just either the theme or even the mechanics, but it's around the level of difficulty of, say, King Domino.
I would agree.
I would say, those are, if that was a matchup and I had to choose which I would rather play, I think it would go back and forth depending on just, mood or something.
I think Draftosaurus, it doesn't change that much from game to game, and I feel like King Domino, that map looks a little bit different every time, or you're gunning for something a little bit different.
Might have a little more replayability.
I don't know. I think Draftosaurus, almost called it
Dinosaurus.
Dino Draft.
Your country needs you.
I think there are expansions you can get and stuff, and there are 2 sides to the map, but I like to play them back to back for a slightly longer game.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think as the drafting probably works a little bit better at 3 or 4 than at 2. We were doing the 2-player draft, but it still works out okay. I think at 2. It's a fine 2-player game, and it's quick. But I think we're getting to the point where you are cool with playing 60 to 2-hour games now. So I don't really feel the need to have necessarily those quick games as much as I used to. But I do still think I need more party games we could play, more casual settings. And I feel like that could be one you could play because you can play up to 5.
That one's pretty easy too.
Here's a fistful of dino meeples.
How many does King Domino play though?
Oh, only up to 4.
That's
way the drafting
typical
works.
number.
I know, and it's kind of limiting sometimes. But for some games you wouldn't want to play it more than 4. So that's why I say you got to pick the right situation, the right game for the right situation. That's something I could definitely work on. But maybe that'll be a 2022 resolution or something. And then we got Planted. Because I had a gift card for Target. Planted, which we are going to be doing a video where we compare Planted and Verdant. And I will be posting an unboxing video of this to highlight the components as well, because they're quite nice. Which is the main thing that I heard about it. You're taking care of your houseplants. It's another Phil Walker Harding game. Also a drafting game, speak of the devil, which, I don't know, I like more the aspect of gathering resources and having to feed my plants than the drafting per se, but there is an interesting little engine building element in it with these scoring tool cards that I found the game kind of ramped up as we went. The second time we played it, I really felt like it was a really good.
I mean, it must have left some impression because I'm kind of itching to play it again.
I really think Phil Walker Harding is going to become your favorite designer when all is said and done.
That's very possible.
I definitely see. I know that you really take a shine to his games, so I'm always keeping an eye out for some of his games for you because you always seem to enjoy them. Sushi Go, Summer Camp.
Yeah, I think he's really good at designing games that are like playable for, like, you don't have to be hardcore into games to play this game.
Not at all. It's very gateway friendly. I would say even family weight. It says 10 plus, but you know.
If your kid's maybe a little smarter.
The only thing that's complicated is tracking the different kind of decoration and tool cards that you have and making sure that you're getting those effects as you go along and build your engine. And he generally tends to aim for those more family-friendly type of weights.
I think so.
And so I think this, well, I don't want to give away when we do our comparison and contrast, but I would definitely say that if you're into a crunchier experience, this probably is not going to have much staying power for you. I think Verdant is definitely more crunchy in that sense, but this gave me more the sense of taking care of my plants, like watering them and stuff, making sure they got sunlight and food.
I mean, the jury is still out. I want to play both of them again, and maybe
before we
do
our comparison video. Yeah,
to really like long haul to really see. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 times to play a game before you really start to feel.
I agree.
You know, like, oh, this is very limiting.
Yeah, because even Verdant, it took me several plays of Verdant and really starting to work for it solo before I really started to unlock the true joys of that game. So I think it does take a while sometimes to really feel like you can give an honest opinion on a game, which is why we tend not, I mean, we kind of generally review games when we do these stats videos, but they're more like our impressions and our general experiences with them, not really like a... And then also 2 new games that I got for Christmas from this beautiful lizard who's so thoughtful and listens to the things I say and buys the things I tell him. This one's been a long time coming. Castles of Burgundy. So, obviously you all know that I love this game and that I've been playing it ad nauseum on BGA for the last year. I finally got to introduce Rich to it because it was on sale for $27 because the new special edition is coming out soon. So I'm sure a lot of retailers are trying to offload it. These copies of the second edition. What did you think of your time with the Castles of Burgundy?
I liked it. You know, the only thing that we said, the board that you play on is a little busy.
Yeah,
visually.
The original edition's art was quite blah, so I think they kind of went in the other direction here. It doesn't necessarily impede the usability of the board, I think, but it is a lot on the eyes.
Exactly. The game still plays perfectly. I mean, there's no real issue there. It's just they just went wild.
The individual player boards, I think, are nice looking with the trees kind of, bordering them. So, but what did you think of the gameplay? This was your first, like, real bone dry Euro, other than Raja's.
I don't know why it didn't feel dry. It was like, I think it's because the puzzle just kept me like occupied enough. I didn't get that distancing effect where, it's kind of like, this is
it's kind of thematic when you think of it. I mean, you're building out your state in France. I mean, you have cows and pigs and, you're getting workers to help build your castles and other buildings. It's a tile placement game essentially and an engine building tile placement game, which is what's really interesting about it. I think it makes it so satisfying and crunchy because you're trying to, maximize the kind of point getting things you have. The only thing I will say, learning it can be kind of a bear because all the tiles do different things. And we were constantly having to look them up because even I, having played it a lot, there's still tiles that I'm like, wait, what does this one do again? What does this one do again?
It had has a good rule book though.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Not bad. You can look, everything's listed. You can look everything up fairly quickly. I kind of wish there were little player aids, but I know in the special edition, the back of the tiles have the effect printed on them, so you can just flip the tile over and read what it does, which I think will really help with usability.
I don't know. You must have done a really good job.
I was hand-holding you through it. I mean,
you were.
And you beat
me. Yeah, I mean,
you almost filled up your whole board minus like 2 spots.
No, I actually do think this is a really good rule book. And looking at it, it's like very
organized.
Yeah, super organized, and you can tell when the designers have thought it through. I mean, look at the first page where it just
it's the second edition. I would hope they had thought of such things.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's a great game.
And the materials are pretty nice, The
tiles are a little small, but I don't mind it so much. The boards are very thin. I know in the special edition they're going to be the double layered recessed boards. And they have like a little overlay and stuff.
We'll have to see.
I think the special edition will be worth investing in. I think this is fine. It's not like amazing component quality, but it's solid. And for only $27, I was like, yes, we need to get this and add it to the collection so that you can play it with me. This
was my big
discovery.
No, it was like my big Black Friday, or it might have been Cyber Monday. There's something to be said for we've been looking at this game for quite a while because I knew it was one of Andy's favorites, and just to find it for so cheap, it was like, woo! You feel like you won the lottery or something.
I agree. You got a really good deal on it. I think it's going to be seeing a lot of play in the near future. I was just overjoyed that it sparked such joy in you. I don't know. I just, like I was saying, I think in one of the other videos of Monthly Math, that you need to catch people at the right time in the right frame of mind to really get them to see the joy in a game that you do, and it can be really hard to light that magic spark. I didn't know
how much time we had played. You said it was like 2 hours. I'm like,
more than 2.
I didn't notice that so much. I was really intent on the game.
He was really into it. It just warmed my Eurogamer cackles to finally, that was the moment. I knew that was the moment. I truly sparked the Euro bug. And then we saved the best for last, because we played this 2 times within less than a week of getting it. And that is my top game for 2022, which I must say. Even though we haven't played that many 2022 releases yet.
Not too many.
But, I knew I was going to love this game. I've been wanting this game for like 6 months or something. It was actually on my list of most anticipated games for this year. And yeah, the hype is real, you guys. Hashtag the hype is real. On Creature Comforts.
So cute.
It's so good and crunchy, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just cute. It's a great theme, obviously. Cozy Critters getting ready for the winter. I mean, this game was literally made for us. But just the way you use dice in this game really reminded me of Raja's a little bit.
Yeah, if I had to make
the
a
worker
most
placement.
Direct comparison of games, I would say this and Raja is very similar.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that you have a shared pool of dice in this one that everyone can use, but you don't know what those values are going to be till after you place your workers, which is there's a sort of interesting, almost push your luck element going on in this game. And just the way that you're kind of building a little mini scoring engine and kind of building your other little benefits engine with your improvements is also, it all kind of synergizes together in a really copacetic
20
way.
Wooden cottages. What are the
there's 5 players, and then everyone gets 4 cottages on their board to build their 4 improvements. Now, this board is super cute.
Are these the cottages? These little things?
Yes, everyone gets their little cottages. And this is Maple Valley. Woo, it's so cute. Oh my god. The beautiful components. This is just the retail edition, and I think, even these components are really good. I know the Kickstarter version, you just get solid wooden things for these tokens. And
I mean, look at this cute little purple squirrel.
Oh my god, these meeples are really nice.
And look at this cute little...
The little rabbit,
yeah. The rabbit is very cute.
And then I like the first player token this is whoever's the early bird gets the worm. And so we played this with my niece and her boyfriend and their roommate, and I think we're going to be making a habit of doing game nights over at my niece, because she's probably the only other person I know that's a more hardcore gamer than I am, which is great. And we were playing the game and it was kind of getting late, and I think we were at like the 4th round or something. Or how many seasons are there? There's 6.
Right.
And I think we were at the round 5 or something. I said, well, we could just end the game now so you can go to bed and we could leave. And she's like, now? We're going to play till the end of the game. And
Did you mention how old your niece is?
She's 19. And she just moved out on her own. I'm super proud of her. And yeah, in that moment, I've never loved my niece more. Then when she's looked at me and said that to me, she's like, no, we're going to finish the game.
No.
We're going to finish what we started, man. And then she didn't even end up winning. Logan ended up winning. He was like,
oh, her boyfriend.
I'm going to post,
he totally.
I got to put the video in here of him just trying to work out and mental math the optimal things. He was stacking resources on top of that one card he had. I forget what it was, but one of those ones where you gain a certain number of points for every like set of resources that you have.
Know how he got them.
He got 76 points and it was his first time playing the game. It was crazy. And I was like, yes, okay, I like that little dude. I said, Anna, you can keep him. And they were like both. We were like at the second round, and Anna and Logan were like, yeah, this is a really good game. I really like this game. And I was like, yes, exactly. And that's why I love my niece.
Good reason. I mean,
not the only reason, obviously.
Also that she's your niece, but still.
Well, I don't think blood is thicker than water, but that was just a really great experience. Creature Comforts.
I think you guys are definitely more cut out of the same kind of cloth than she is with her mother,
Well, yeah, we have more similar personalities, I think in general. Those are what I had for like our most played games. Oh, I wanted to talk about a couple other new to us games. Cartographers. We finally got the flip and write because I'm trying to introduce Rich to more flip and writes. What did you think of Cartographers?
It's okay. I don't know that I like flip and writes that much.
Really? I like, me, I love anything where you're building a map. And I like the map element of that game. It's polynomial kind of things.
It was okay. Again, it was like a real lightweight. I mean, there's strategy. There isn't a lot of subterfuge, but there's some. And it was fun. I don't know. It's the writing, the thing.
Are you not into the writing on the little pads? Does it feel like doing homework?
Something like that.
See, I don't mind that part. I like that part, but it's a really good solo game too. And that is a game you can play up to 99. You can play with as many people as you wanted.
I think that's what that game is. I think that's what I would do with it, is play it with a larger number of people, because then you're not limited to just a board that's in front of you.
You're all still doing your own thing. You're just all writing the same thing. I would be tighter with who ends up having the most points, I would think. But yeah, it's not meant to be the super crunchy thing. I think it's the flip and write the flip and write par excellence, because it's very pure and a good example of the genre done well, I think.
Okay, well then that's good to know. I've only played a few of those.
Yeah, I think there's others that the puzzle might be a little crunchier. I still think you'd like Welcome To a lot. Okay. Maybe that would, that puzzle would jive with you a little bit more. That one's a little more mathematical, and I feel like Cartographers is kind of like, it's all about optimizing for what you're going to be able to score in that particular season and getting coins. Get those coins. If there's a coin on that card, you should take it. That's my personal opinion. But other people may disagree with me. And also this month, we got a new Kickstarter in, wherever it got off to. So this just fulfilled. This is actually a reprinting of a slightly older game. And I got this because it plays up to 7. It's a drafting game, technically. Pretty simple, straightforward card game. It's kind of like Bird Bingo, basically. Bird watching bingo. So if you like the theme of Wingspan, I could see you liking this. The bird cards
are really nice. I do give them really... And
they have their Latin names and things. The art's really good. Well, it's kind of basic. It's more basic than I was thinking, because the main sort of strategy involves you're playing a card into, I think it's called the birds are landing or whatever. The birds are arriving in one circle. Then in the next round, they go into this inner circle, and then after that, they're going to leave. So you're trying to time when you're going to score certain birds, depending at which stage they're at before they go away. And you're basically just trying to match symbols on the cards with each other to basically score along these different tracks. And then once you fill in an entire track, you get a bonus. It sounded crunchier than it actually ended up being, but it does have a really good app. So I've been playing it solo a lot on the app. And
I'd play this one again. As far as, and I guess this one is, where you write on little pad.
Technically, yeah. I prefer using the scoring pad. You can use the app to do the scoring
Oh,
if you
really?
want to. But I actually prefer using the physical pad, I think. But it does kind of feel like bingo, like you're marking the things off as you're trying to match.
It does kind of feel like bingo. That is true.
Yeah, and it feels a little random. It really depends on the way that the cards come out, what you're going to be able to grab. So, you just feel like you're kind of, oh, well, I saw this, so I'm going to grab those.
Yeah,
it also suggests doing drafting at the beginning of the game to make it a little more strategic, which I think is something definitely I would want to do.
Yeah,
multiplayer.
I think this one has some possibilities.
I like having more lighter card games in the collection. We do tend to play a lot of light card games. This one was cheap. I think it was like $20 for the Kickstarter. And it's completely eco-friendly. This, I think the only plastic that they used other than this tape was the cards were in shrink wrap, and that was pretty much it. So everything else is totally biodegradable, or was made at this 100% recyclable factory in Poland that produced this game. Yeah, so this was not produced in China. Good on them.
I like the art. The art is quite
nice.
Good.
I like the aesthetic of it, for sure.
It even says eco-friendly game. 100% recyclable.
That's on the hotness for some people as well, because it's been fulfilling for a lot of people, and it's not quite to retail yet. I think the original edition of the game is still out of print, technically.
Oh.
It's from less than 10 years ago, but a hot minute ago. So that was
the only thing I'll say is that it's the expression "birds of a feather." I kind of wish there was a little bit more that figured into the game.
Well, the idea, because you're trying to match one card, and if it matches, you get to mark off all the cards that have the same matching symbol. That's the birds of a feather thing. So you want to score for whatever there's the most of visible on the table.
That's true.
So that's why you want to let things go to that inner ring and then play a card with a matching symbol so you can mark off 3 or 4 birds instead of just 1.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the strategy comes into that, and the timing of trying to capture things or play something that's going to keep other people from being able to match their things. But there's not really that much take that in that. I do kind of feel like it's more like multiplayer solitaire bingo. Maybe there's supposed to be more interaction in if you want to play one of the falcon predatory bird cards that will scare off birds of a certain type. So if someone's going to try to gun and mark off 4 birds, you could play a falcon of that type, and that'll scare off the birds they were about to score. So there's supposed to be a meta game there that you can play, but I didn't really find that was something we really ended up doing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the day that you taught it to me, sometimes I'm more like a sponge when it comes to learning games, and sometimes it's just kind of okay, what are we doing today? And it'll just kind of roll over me. And this game did just roll over me. And I feel like...
Well, it was the day after we played Castles of Burgundy, so maybe your brain was saturated.
I know. It was very different, because the day I came over for Castles of Burgundy, I was just raring to go.
Very possible. And I'm supposing you would want to know what the last game of the year was that we played at the end of December. And that was Meadow. We finally played it multiplayer. We did not get for the whole game, unfortunately, because of reasons that I don't really want to go into. And our last official game of the year was Clickbait. A little arrow there. It's always featured at the top of the frame. So, yeah, that's fitting, I think. I definitely want to try and get those peeps to play Meadow again. Maybe when we're in I don't know. It's not a party game.
And it's not
I should have known that.
Yeah, we were getting together.
Shouldn't bring it to a New Year's party.
Yeah, that was...
mea culpa. I do want to do it for our next bi-weekly game days, because those will be coming back in January. So I think that'd be a good one to... I really want to get Jamila to play it with us next time.
Did she play Rajas with us?
No, still hasn't. I think she'd like that game. It's just, when you can get her smoothly over the learning curve, that's good. So I'm going to practice actually teaching Meadow, because I don't think I did the best job, getting
it's a
them
hard
into
game
it.
to, there's
The
so
concept.
many little, but it's all these little things. There's a lot of tinkering, I would say. I don't know if that's the actual...
I think the thing that Celia was getting frustrated
word.
with was she didn't know what she should be going for strategically. And the first time you play that game, it's kind of like... There's so many different animals. It really depends on what comes out. And you're trying to build your engine of things, but you don't want to cut yourself off from certain things. So I think I was trying to explain the strategy of how you build things up with the ground cards, and then from there you can start building the other animals. But I don't know. I think she's just having a hard time getting into it.
She wanted to learn a new game is what it probably came down to. Like, if she had been, just didn't seem like she was really into playing a game, honestly.
I mean, it's my fault for trying to hoist that onto her when it was a New Year's Eve party and we should have just been playing party games. So it's really my fault, I think. But, you know, it is my favorite game. So it's just a little demoralizing for me. But I really should have known better. And, you know, I underestimated how really mentally crunchy that game is.
See, we played that one so many times that it doesn't even seem like a particularly hard game. But I do remember when
you struggled with it the first time you played it. Yeah.
It's like I said, there's just a lot of little stuff that you don't know at the beginning. Like you said, you're just not sure. You have to have kind of had some experience with looking at these cards need study. I will say that. You can't just sort of do a quick glance at everything and go, oh, okay, this is... It's really
a lot to absorb because all the cards are unique. And there's a lot of different kinds of families of cards. So I think next time when I try to teach that, I would break down the different families of kinds of cards and the kinds of cards you need generally in order to build those other kinds of cards. Like, you need worms and bugs if you want to build birds, and you want to build birds so that the falcons can come later and eat them and you can get more points. Same thing with the animals and the houses.
So I suppose it helps if you have a little, which she should. She was a biology major.
Sure. I think it was just, again, a case of wrong game, wrong time. You know? It was not a type of game that fit the scenario.
Mike seemed to be getting into it, though.
Oh, he was going to. He was going to win, for sure. And it was only like the 5th round. And there's 8 rounds in the 4-player game, which I didn't realize. It's much longer, the 4-player game, than I realized. But, you know, I think you're supposed to be real snappy with it, or whatever.
There can be some AP in that game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially with new people.
I should have known better. So, it's my fault. Anyway, that was, you know, maybe not the best way to end the year, but that's how we ended it. Stay tuned for our cumulative video when we're going to break down all kinds of delightful stats for you guys and give you our top 10 most played games. Or I think it's going to be a top 11 most played games. And then maybe, I guess those will also be our favorites. We'll be like, well, it doesn't matter what games we liked. These are the games we actually played the most. And then we'll also look at the games we didn't play at all, or we only played once in the year of 2022.
Yeah, I think those are the ones. And then the question is, why only once? Because you played it, so you know what it is, but you didn't want to play it again. So yeah, those are the ones I would take a hard look at.
Yeah, sure. And we're going to get into that. We might have a separate video where we go over the games we need to play in 2023, or they need to get culled, like a little keep, cull, or consider thing. I might want to come up with a different title for that series. I don't want to steal, other people's titles for their series. I'll try not to. So until next time, this has been Get Gaming. I'm Andy.
And I'm Rich.
And remember to always be gay.
To crime.
Don't get caught.
And
get
given.
We finally took down our Hanukkah decorations, so those might have been in the background of a previous video. I'm not sure. Like faded on the cover. Where is Meadow? What'd you do with Meadow? Why'd you pause before you said content?
I was trying to think of how do I, episodes. No, these aren't. It's
you can call them episodes, yeah. It's a show, kind of.
Really? Now I feel very special.
You should. You're the star.
Really?
Of my heart.
Oh, yeah.
But continue with the Dino Meeples.
Ah!
Are you bringing the whole box?
I am bringing the whole box.
It's right there. Okay.
Well,
Away. Away.